Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back for another deck profile here. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that. I know I did. It was a great time. But I'm back with this deck today. Somebody suggested this deck, and I was just like, you know what, dude, I have it like on my list of decks I wanted to cover on the channel and such. So I was like, you know, dude, somebody requested, let's bump it up. So, you know, dude, we're doing it today. But this is it's one of my favorite decks of all time. There's a million ways to play this deck. I play tested so many variants of it. This is the one I felt the most comfortable with, and I think that has like the longest longevity, or depending. But this is the Infernities, dude. But it's the 3-access build, you know, all the level 3s and such. I really enjoyed this deck, dude. I didn't think I'd like it this much because I haven't played Infernities in quite some time. But yeah, dude, this deck was really wild too. Like it's a deck, dude. It's one thing I will say that's hard about this is I'm gonna show a combo video at the end of this, as I usually do. But doing the combo upside down is just really hard because you have to just do so much with it. So but yeah, dude, so obviously one Archfiend, dude, one of the homeboys. I have a bunch of supers. I just chose to use the French one for this. Obviously, everyone knows what this does. You know, special summon it, no cards in hand, search for an Infernity card. And then also, if you fucking draw it for a turn or whatever, that's not really relevant anymore because you've already lost. But you special summon it. But so yeah, dude. And then one on Infernity Avenger, dude. This card's also super fucking old. This whole deck's kind of old. I'm glad they gave it new support. I'm super glad about that. But I think actually last Christmas I bought myself this deck, just the Infernity stuff like max rarity, for myself for Christmas. So Infernity Avenger, and then the one Patriarch. Dude, this card's kind of new. I think this came out when Firewall did, so I guess it's not really that new. Also, this is like, so I should have explained these, but this is like Bubble Man. If it's the last card in your hand, you can just special summon it. So, then one of the new guys, the Conjurer. If you have no cards in your hand, your opponent's monsters lose 800 attack. And then if this card's in your graveyard and you have no cards, you can just special summon it. It gets banished when it leaves, though. So, kind of like Spinny. And then two Necromancer. DTs, boys. Whoa. This card's insane. I think everyone knows what this card does too. I think any like older player, even like newer players, I think know what Infernity is. I think it's like one of the decks that's just very like widely, you know, acknowledged. This guy on normal summon switches to defense, and then if you have no cards in hand, you special summon an Infernity monster from your graveyard. And then two Infernity Mirage, dude. So Mirage, dude, this is Launcher. It's just Infernity Launcher. So, you know, just a monster. But, you know, that's what that does. And then two more new dudes. The Wildcats, dude. So this card, kind of indifferent on the ratios on this card. It's just discard an Infernity monster, special summon it. But it's a level 3 tuner. And then one of its other effects that actually comes up sometimes is like while it's on the board, you can banish an Infernity monster from your graveyard and either increase its level by 1 or decrease its level by 1. It's come up a few times. I've actually increased it, like banish Mirage, increase it to 4 to make Savage with Archfiend, and then, you know, summon it back with Mirage or Necromancer. So, you know, and then the one of boys, the Fiend Squad, the Rhino. You just need one of those. If you draw it, it's not the end of the world. You can still combo with it. So one Stygian. I actually really like. I'm gonna talk about Stygian for a second. I don't think people. I'm not sure if people still like playing this card. With the new Void Apocalypse, I think this card's just really good at 1. You know, for obvious reasons, but. This is one of those deck. This was like the original, like, I want to say like Pendulum or like DDD, where it's like 2 to 3 cards, you can do 4 million things. Like it's like there's like no ceiling cap, but you have to know what you're doing and think like 4 steps ahead before you start playing. Deck's really hard to play with. One thing I would suggest is playing with it. It makes you a better player if you play with this deck, because like you can play like decks that are easier to play and you're already just right in your zone if you know what you're doing with this. So. And then the one Archfiend Eris. whenever it's sent to graveyard by battle or card effect, and adds a Archfiend from deck to hand. So obviously it adds Infernity Archfiend. And then the 2 dangers. I just play 1 snake and one jackalope. I was playing Nessie. Nessie was just like these get each other, or not get each other, but this gets this, and then if I already have this, like the, you know, whatever, and like there'd be hands where like I'd already do this, and then I would like play a lure, because like sometimes you have to play weird with this deck, like set a lure and then do some stuff and then a lure, you know what I mean? There'd be times where like I would draw like Nessie, or like in certain situations I just wouldn't need the Nessie, so I was like, we're just gonna cut it, because I wanted to keep this deck to 40 cards. I know it's a walking upstart, but just, you know, I like the way this is right now, so he's in the honorable mentions. As you guys know, I'm going to start doing that. And then the main normal summon, obviously 3 tour guide. Ew, gold rares, gross. These actually look really good. I think I'm going to get alties once I figure out, like, I might update this deck in like probably like 3 weeks or something. I'm going to do a lot more testing with this. I had a lot of fun with this deck when I was testing with it this week, so we'll see how that goes. And then you know, dinosaurs are my favorite, and there's 3 Gillosaurus, bro. These are Italian, but you know, whatever. This dude, inherent, just special it. And then obviously if you're going first, it's insane. If you're going second, you special it, your opponent gets a special monster from their graveyard or whatever. Like if they hand trap you and then you special this, they get special back to hand. It's not really that important, because sometimes you build boards that are so insane it just doesn't really matter what you do or what they do. Because this is also like one of those the decks that has like the built-in out to like Dark Ruler and stuff, with Infernity Barrier obviously, but and then one of the launchers, dude. This card, dude, this card. I'm not even gonna explain this. If you don't know what this does, you probably aren't watching this. So, and then one Paranoia, dude. It's one of the newer cards. I'm not completely sold on this card yet. I think it's kind of iffy, but you need it for one of the 2-card combos. I'm going to show a 2-card combo at the end of this, like I said already, but you need this for that 2-card combo. You know, like Infernities are like one of those decks where like you start with a 5-card hand and you can just do a lot of shit. So like limiting it down to like 2 cards is kind of rough, but this card's kind of like not like a transmodify, but it just sends a dark monster to graveyard and special summons a dark Infernity from deck or graveyard with the same level, but it negates its effect. It just kind of tutors out the Conjurer or the Wildcat. It's, you know, something like that. So, and then 1-0 max. This card's super fucking old too. I think everyone knows what this is. Also, I'm probably gonna play more of these in the future. I just felt comfortable with one of these for right now, so. I might even actually max out on this, but it's not a hard once per turn if you have no cards in hands. Obviously it's 0 max, so it's not searchable, but you know, if you play 3, that's fine, you draw it. It specials back in Infernity and then destroys monsters on the board equal to or less of its attack points, I think. But you usually only get a Necromancer with it, so it doesn't really, because it's attack 0, so it doesn't really matter. And then one of the Dark World Monster Reborns, it's also new. Charge into the Dark World. It's just target level 4 lower fiend in your graveyard, special summon, discard a fiend monster. So I see people maxing out on this. I'm not really sure how I feel about like maxing out on this. I almost wanted to play a 60 card build, and I was like, relax, Sonny. I know you miss grass, because I miss grass is greener. Everyone fucking does. But you know, I was just like, it's a hard once per turn, so I was like, you just see one, it's good. So that's my thoughts on it. In researching this deck too, I see a lot of like really just awful builds. Like they put like, you know, let me go into that in a second. So 1 Monster Reborn, obviously. 1 Succession. Also hard once per turn. I've seen so many builds that play like 3 of this and 3 of the dark charge in the Dark World and 3, you know, just all these hard once per turn cards, max copies on a 40 card list, and I don't understand. Maybe that's just me. I've just never thought that way. I'd rather just, like, if I see it once, it's fine. Then the 1 Foolish Burial, you know. So, and then the 3 Fossil Dig. This is for the Gillosaurus. So you play 6 Gillosaurus. That card's so insane. Big shout out to my girlfriend for helping me play test today. Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
There was one hand I opened 2 Fossil Day Gillosaurus and Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and she sat there for 15 minutes while I played. So it was just like...
Just a scoop.
Yeah, she just watched me play and then scoop, but... You know, it's just... This deck can just go for ages, dude. Like... The combo I'm going to show you, I think you special summon Archfiend like 10 times or something like that. And then 3 of the Void Apocalypse cards kind of new. Discard a card, send a Fiend card to graveyard, and then its other effect is Infernoids, which you guys know I love Infernoids. But I think this card, that's why I play Stygian. I think this card got, Stygian got a lot better because you can just send the Stygian. Because like a bunch of the combos, like you'll do like the Cherubini to send the, because it sends for cost to send the Rhino Warrior, and then that'll send the Eris, and then you'll add the Archfiend, and then you just play this and discard the Archfiend or whatever, which is usually what people do with the Charge of the Dark World card, but they play 3 of it, so if they draw 2, they're just like, oh, sick. I just think that card's better than the Charge of the Dark World, so. And then 3 Allure, this is pretty standard. Just dig in your deck, and also there's, since this is 3 access, like a lot of the level 3s and stuff, there's been times where like I banished the Archfiend, but it's fine because you just levier it back. And then for the traps, I play 1 break. The new trap card is actually in my honorable mentions. I really like that card. It just kind of depends on what the meta is, in my opinion, for the traps and Infernoids and what the ratios you play. Because like a lot of the time, like against like Zoo, their choke point is the normal summon, so you can just break it, and then if they don't have a follow up, then that's the end of that. But if you played the other trap, I'll go over that in a little bit. But I think this one's better right now, in my opinion. The other one, it's still really good, but and then just two barriers. Solemn Judgment, no cards in hand, control a attack position, Infernity, negate anything, Solemn Judgment. So, but the honorable mentions, when we get to that, I'm gonna get into the reason why I play those traps. So, and then for the extra deck, the 1 Cherubini, 2 level 3s, send a you can send a level 3 from deck to graveyard as cost, and then he also has some other effects that don't really matter, but and then for my generic Link 2s, the obviously Nightmare Phoenix, one of my favorite Link 2s of all time, and then Barricade Board Blocker, just generic. Sometimes you need the discard outlet for this. Sometimes your hand's like that where you just need to pitch a card or whatever. The one thing that's weird is big shout out to my dude Fee, dude. He's like the ruling king. I was talking to him today about some stuff. I didn't realize that Barricade Board Blocker, I think the way it reads is it's mandatory to add back and continue a spell. So however you want to do it. Usually you can just use the Nightmare Phoenix for the generic when you do there's like a weird way to do the combo and stuff, but either way, adds back launcher, sweet. And then just another generic Unicorn card's always good. And then 3-star Aegis, pardon the fucking Ultra, I couldn't find my 3rd secret, but yeah, dude, the combo I'm going to show you is 3 of these. You make 3 of these, honestly, like, the 3rd one's only come up like in that combo, it comes up. But, like, when you open a 5-card hand and then you start playing, usually you only need 2 of these. But, so neither here nor there. If you guys want to test this out, please do so. Also, the other Link 4 is the Appaloosa. In the combo, I'll show you end on this with 4 monster negates, dude. 12 negate board, but 4 of them are Appaloosa. That's not, what I'm saying. So, then 1 Levier. You just need 1. I think if you play this deck correctly, all you need is 1. Unless your deck is based around this card. I know this is 3 access, but I think 1 is just completely fine. So, And then the homeboy do the Dagaris. This card has so many applications. Mainly it's just the detach 2 to special 1 back from graveyard. So in defense mode. And then the one Infernity Doom Archfiend, dude. So this card's really good. I was kind of surprised at this card. Like the sometimes you'll put up a board with like this and like Archfiend or this and Patriarch just so they can't like kaiju your face-up attack position Infernity, so they can play around the barriers, because if you don't have attack position Infernity, barrier doesn't do anything. But this card is just coming clutch, going second a lot. So this card's really good. And then for the other level 8 for the level 8 synchros, 1 Void Ogre. I still think this card's just really insane. You know, sometimes your hands are just insane, where it's like Savage, Void Ogre, Appaloosa, Doom King, Infernity Doom, or Archfiend or whatever with like 3 back rows. And then 1 Savage. That's in the combo too. The card's also really good. And then 200 Eyes. This is just the Phantom of Chaos for Mirage. Also, one thing I wanted to point out was this thing. If you were playing like Infernity Beetle, which is in my honorable mentions, you could like make this and then go into a Savage, and then this has 2 attacks on monsters. It's kind of like an update jammer in a sense sometimes. That's kind of cool. But let me, I'll do the combo first, and then I'll go to the honorable mentions. Alright, so let me, give me 1 second just to separate the cards real quick, just so it makes it easier on me. We're just going to use this one as the one thing, this, we need that, we need this, excuse me, this, and this. Okay, cool. This will just make it a lot faster. Also doing this, like I mentioned earlier, doing this upside down is just... so, anyway, so the 2-card combo, it's just... I'm going to place it in here. I'm going to move this towards you, babe, just a little bit. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, so the 2-card combo right here is just a tour guide, or like there's multiple ways of doing this, but tour guide's the easiest one, and then just any reborn card. You know, that's kind of why I want to play 3 of these, but we'll see what happens. So all you do, you normal summon tour guide's effect to special summon Necromancer from deck, and then these 2 get linked off for Cherubini. You still see this, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. Cherubini's effect will send for cost, and you send the Rhino to graveyard, and then Rhino will trigger and send Archfiend to graveyard. So then you play the Zero Max, which, like I said, you just special summon a Infernity, Jesus. If you don't have any cards in hand, and then whatever its attack value is, it destroys everything on the board, but obviously it's a 0. So you do this, and then this will special summon the Archfiend, and then Archfiend's effect will activate and search your card, bro. So you get the Patriarch, and then, like I said, he's like Bubble Man, so you special summon him. I'll special summon him here just to make it easier. And then these, oh, I'm sorry, these 2. That's right. I remember now. These 2 just go into the generic Link 2. I'll just use Phoenix. So Phoenix, and then these 2 make the Ugaris, and then the Ugaris attached 2. So with summon, you skip your next main phase 1, I think. I don't know. I've never gotten past, or it's never, gotten past that after that. And then I have no cards in hand, so Necromancer will special summon Archfiend. Archfiend's effect will add the launcher. And then here is where you activate the launcher. And then these go into Yeah, okay. So it's all 4 of these. Go into the first Skull Dread, I believe. Doing this upside down, like I said, is just kind of rough, but you know, we'll get through it. So it's 4 monsters. So right here, you would draw 4, put back 3, so you'd have more centers or whatever. But anyways, let's go back down here, and then you'd launcher, and you would bring back the Necromancer and the Patriarch. Effects of Necromancer, special back Archfiend. Archfiend's effects. Also, this, I'm not going to state this every time, but every time I would summon to this arrow, this is mandatory chainlink 1 to bump whatever monster I summon attack and defense by 300. So this would be up by 300 attack and defense, 300 attack and defense, whatever. And then you add the Mirage. And then this is where. Let's see, am I missing something here? Maybe, I don't think so. And then this is where you make the second. Once again, you would draw 4, put 3 back on the bottom. And, oh, I did miss something here. That's what it was. See, doing this upside down, dude, my brain is just like, duh. So you don't make this yet. This is where you use this effect to special summon. Sorry about that. Special the Mirage. Then you make those into next Skull Dread. Should make this off. So once again, do this. Necromancer, special summon. Like I said, I'm not going to say this every time, but I'll do it one more time. Pump 300, pump 300, mandatory. And then Archfiend's effect will search you the Avenger. And then here, you Saryuja, special summon the Avenger. You still see this, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is where you make the first 100 eyes. Effects to banish the first Mirage. Attribute this off. To make this and this. Effect of Necromancer. Archfiend, Archfiend's effect. We'll add the second Mirage. And then these will go, I think this is when I go into, I think this is the third Skull Dread, yeah, third Skull Dread, okay. Third Skull Dread, you would draw 4, put 3 back on the bottom, and then effects, special summon, tribute off, do this again, effect special to Archfiend, and then this is when you, Archfiend search the Paranoia, which this is why like you need this card for this combo, but it's like it's not like super important. It's just kind of for this combo, but like any 5-card hand, like you know you're doing things. So then you play Paranoia, you send the Necromancer to graveyard, especially on the Conjurer, and then this is where you make the this is the second. So this isn't graveyard. This is the second 100 eyes. Sorry, and 100 eyes. We'll banish the next Mirage, second Mirage, then the 100 eyes, special summon back. These, and then you'll use effect, special summon back. Archfiend, and then Archfiend will search barrier, set barrier, and then since you paranoid for the Conjurer, you have no cards in hand, so obviously, can you still see this, babe?
Yeah.
Special back the Conjurer here, and then this is when you make the with the Conjurer and the Necromancer, you'll make the Levier. Attach, special back, and then here's this one, the Avenger, Levier, Patriarch, and the Skull Dread. make the... Oh, I'm sorry. Not the patriarch. Necromancer has to go. And then you make the Appaloosa with 4 negates. And then tribute off the Mirage again, I think one last time, to summon back. This also got banned. No, it didn't. It was under that. You'll bring back these again. And then effect. So summon back Archfiend. Archfiend will add barrier. Set barrier. And then this is when you final time synchro summon for the Savage, and then Savage will equip the Skull Dragon with 4 counters as well. So, and obviously right here you have the attack position Archfiend for the 2 barrier negates on anything, any Omni negate, then 4 monster effect negates. So, off of just tour guide and 1 reborn card. So, you know, it's pretty good, dude. So I'm gonna real quick. I'm just gonna go over the honorable mentions. There's so many ways to play this deck. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but these are the last cards in my extra deck. There's 4 cards left in my extra deck. So just from that combo, you can do everything other ways. You know, with more cards in hand. So there are 5 cards in hand. You would probably, whatever, use turbo more, but. Some honorable mentions, obviously the Beetle. Still think this card's ridiculous. I just haven't found the right build for it yet. I was gonna play the Union Carrier with the new Wizard, or not the new, but the Wizard Buster instead of the fucking good Buster. This is just Dweller. It's like, you do the Union Carrier attached like you used to do the other dude that got banned for this, but he's just a Dweller, negates monsters in grave. A worse Dweller. Still really good though. And then this is the Suppression. This is the other new Infernity trap. It can be activated the turn you set it if you have no cards in hand, and if your opponent monster activates in a monster effect, you can negate it and then burn them for the level of if they have a level times 100. Not super insane. In a certain meta, it would be really good. But also, one thing I wanted to say, one last thing, was the only reason I played 3 traps for Infernities was the way the deck's set up. Sometimes you'll have the Savage with the equipped Link, right? And then you'll have the Void Apocalypse, so you'll only have 3 spots. So that's why I only play 3 traps, because you don't want to have like bluff sets and all that, but there's only 3 spots left, so I was like, let's just play 3 traps. I don't want to play like 3 barriers, 1 break, 2 break, all this stuff. I'd rather just have like a comfortable number, so I know that I can combo into what I want to negate. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, oh, I'm drawing more than just too many breaks. You don't need it. I think 3 traps, in my opinion, right now is the where I'm comfortable at, just because of the Void Apoc, like I said. So, but yeah, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you're thinking about it, dude. Cheers.